Shinran Shongin. Yes, Shinran Shongin. So Gotan is coming up in 2 weeks, and some students will participate in Ochigo procession. And Ochigo is a group of children who joins the service wearing the special wear. At Sacramento Betsuin, the third grade Dharma school students or third grader join the service as Ochigo. And for this year's Ochigo participants, we are planning to give a book, and the book shares really, really simple teaching from the teachings of the Buddha. So today, I want to share part of the book for the Dharma School talk. And can I have my slide? It said, really simple. Do not do to others what you would not want them to do to you. Do not do to others what you would not want them to do to you. And on the other side of the book, it shows the explanation, but you can read them from the book. But this is really simple, yet true teaching. Do something others you would not want them to do to you, and it will lead others to dislike or even hate you. So thinking about others' feelings, empathy is important. So before you do something to others, think about, do I like it if others do this to me? And as I mentioned in my talks in the past, one's attitude affects others. If we be mean to the others, then others be mean to us. So instead of creating this negative chain reaction, it's better to create the positive chain reaction by being kind and gentle to every living things. Okay, so please remember this simple teaching and enjoy a few more classes of Dharma School, okay? So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. And Dharma School talk was short. That means adult talk is long. But I would like to share a passage from our founder, Shinran Shogin's master work, Kyogyo Shinsho. So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together again. To reveal with reverence the true realization, it is the wondrous state attained through Amida's perfect benefiting of others. It is the ultimate fruition of supreme nirvana. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. So today, we are observing the Shotsuki monthly memorial service for those who have passed away in the month of May. And it is always difficult to accept the loss of our loved ones, even though some time might have passed. But Shinran Shogin said in one of the writings called Tangisho, an ordinary being full of afflictions in this fleeting world, this burning house, all matters without exception are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The Nembutsu alone is true and real. And these words of Shinran Shogin made me think about the words of Kakehashi Sensei, which I shared last week. Kakehashi Sensei said, Amida Buddha overturns our idea. Amida Buddha overturns our idea. And Amida Buddha is calling us, don't think you are going to die, but think that you are going to be born. Don't think that you are going to die, but think you are going to be born. But through our afflictions and attachments, we see death as death. but it is the false way of looking at the phenomenon of the end of the physical life. However, the Pure Land Buddhism teaches us that it is birth through the working of Amida Buddha's primal vow. So this understanding gave many people ease and comfort from facing the separation from loved ones. Then, I have asked this many, many times, so I hope you remember this, but where is Rengyo Shogin located in the outer area? Not Shinran Shogin, but Rengyo Shogin. And I am always saying it's 50-50, right? Left or right? What do you think? You can just point it, you don't have to say it. Yeah, I guess many people are getting the correct answer. So Rengyo Shogin is second from left. So Rengyo Shogin. And I mentioned Rengyo Shogin because May is also the memorial month for Rengyo Shogin. He passed away on May. So today, I would like to talk about Rengyo Shogin because I think one of the resolutions of BWA is to talk about Rengyo Shogin or have service for Rengyo Shogin. And I was thinking, did we really follow this resolution or not? But today, I would like to talk about Rengyo Shogin. So Rengyo Shogin was born in 1414 or 1415. So he's from 600 years ago. 600 years. Long time, right? And he had 27 children. 27. But he was preceded by 7 children. And he also had 5 wives, but preceded by 4 wives. So I cannot think how heartbreaking it is to lose this many of the family members during one's lifetime. And even though impermanence is one of the core teachings of the Buddhism, Shinran Shogin, our founder Shinran Shogin, did not talk much about impermanence in his writings. But Rengyo Shogin, almost every letter we see impermanence of life, impermanence of life. And this probably comes from his experience of the separation from loved ones. And I am assuming the separation from one of the daughters named Kengyoku, I think she was the second daughter, was, he had to be separated from Kengyoku, and probably this was the hardest experience for him. And there are 3 letters of Rengyo Shogin mentions the separation from his family. And in one of the letters, Rengyo Shogin wrote, on the night of cremation, in the early hours of August 15, someone experienced a mysterious dream. In that dream, it was seen that on the field of cremation, amidst the white bones that had become empty smoke, 3 blue lotus flowers emerged. From within one of the flowers, a golden Buddha figure about an inch tall appeared, radiating light. Before long, the figure turned into a butterfly and vanished. At that moment, the dream came to an end. This vision is understood to reveal the truth of the jewel of suchness and Dharma nature, symbolized by the name Kengyoku. That it appeared as a butterfly and disappeared signifies that the spirit, transformed into a butterfly, has flown to the sky of Dharma nature, the Pure Land of ultimate peace, the capital of nirvana. This meaning is understood without doubt. So it is said that Honganji back then was really poor. Kengyoku was sent to and raised by a Zen temple. And eventually, she entered the Pure Land path through the loss of her auntie. Then she came back to Rengyo Shogin, probably to take care of him. And Kengyoku was a friendly person. Everybody loved Kengyoku. And Rengyen Shongin was proud of his daughter growing up to be a nice lady. But she became ill when she was 26 years old and eventually passed away due to the illness. So, thinking about it, Rengyen Shongin experienced the separation from his mother when he was 6 years old. It is not that she passed away or something, but she suddenly disappeared. So Rengyen Shongin probably looked around for his mom years and years. But he never had a chance to meet his mother again. And this experience probably shaped Rengyen Shongin's personality, seeking for the strong family connection and, big family. So the separation from his proud daughter was probably the hardest experience Rengyen Shongin had to go through. But since he was the leader of the tradition, he could not just mourn the loss, but he had to turn this experience into the Dharma message. So this is the contents of this letter. And strictly saying, we don't talk about spirit or soul in Buddhism, but to reach to the people of the general public, Rengyen Shongin used the expression spirit. And I thought this depiction of the spirit of Kengyoku becoming butterfly to travel to the Pure Land is really beautiful. And historically, until Honen Shongin, Shinran Shongin's teacher, how a person died was really important. How a person died was really important. So they had the ritual called ritual on moment of death. And it was believed that if the ritual was successful, the person is welcomed by Amida Buddha. And people observe like a purple clouds filling the air, hearing the music, and so on. So if the ritual is successful, the person is going to be born into the Pure Land. But if not, then what happened to the person? The person continue to transmigrate this birth and death. So that is why this ritual was really important. Or on the other hand, in the other word, how the person died was really important back then. But Honen Shongin carefully studied the sutra and revealed the true intent of the Buddha, and Shinran Shongin succeeded his understanding. It is the working of Amida Buddha alone which makes us attain birth into the Pure Land. So ritual at the moment of death is not so important. Or again, in the other words, how we die is not so important. So important thing is living this life, accepting the words of Buddha calling us. Don't think you are going to die, but think that you are going to be born. This calling of the Buddha as true, accepting this word of the Buddha as true, and reciting Nembutsu, this is important. This is important. And again, our predecessor's figure of living with Nembutsu remains in someone's heart or our heart and affect people. As I shared some of the stories of my grandparents and elder members of my home temple at the Hana Matsuri service, I shared that they always say Nammandabu, whatever they do, right? So going back to the words of Shinran Shongin I shared at the beginning, it is through the working of Amida Buddha we attain birth in the Pure Land, that is the ultimate fruition of supreme nirvana. This means that the death is not the separation from our loved ones, but our loved ones became Buddha and now guiding us to live this life accepting the words of the Buddha as true. Now they are part of Amida Buddha's working, and teaching us, don't worry about us, don't worry about us. We were born into the Pure Land and attained the supreme nirvana. And we are wishing you to be born here when your lives comes to an end. So instead of we wish for our loved ones who have passed away to attain birth in the better place, they are the ones who is wishing us to be born into the Pure Land. So even though the physical separation from our loved one is the toughest experience we must go through in life, we are never separated from our loved ones. They are always in our heart, guiding us to live with Nembutsu. And now, I would like to conclude my talk with the reading of the part of Rengyo Shonin's letter titled On Lightning and Morning Dew. On Lightning and Morning Dew. And so please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. それおもん見れば人間はただ電光長路の夢幻の間の楽しみぞかしたとえまた栄が栄養にふけりて思う様のことなりというともそれはただ50年ないし100年のうちのことなりもしただ今も無常の風来たりて誘いなばいかなる病苦にあいて悲しむしくなりなんやまことに視線時はかねて頼みをきつる祭祀も財宝も我が身には一つも愛そうことあるべからずされば死での山地の末三途の大河おばただ一人こそ雪なんずれこれによりてただ深く願うべきは御性なりまた頼むべきは阿弥陀如来なり信心欠如して参るべきは安行の浄土なりと思うべきなりあなかしこあなかしこ Reflecting on this, one must realize the pleasure of human life are but fleeting illusions, like a flash of lightning or morning dew, a dream or a delusion. Even if one indulges in wealth and glory, and imagines life to be just as one desires. Such prosperity lasts only 50 or at most 100 years. But if the wind of impermanence were to blow even now and beckon you away, how easily life could end in the midst of pain and suffering. Truly, at the moment of death, the family and the wealth and treasures one relied upon cannot accompany the self, not even one of them. Death on the lonely path that leads to the mountain of death, crossing the great rivers of the three realms, one must journey alone. For this reason, the one thing we should deeply aspire toward is the life to come. The one we should entrust ourselves to is Amida Tathagata, and with wholehearted entrusting, we should set our sight on the Pure Land of peace and bliss. Humbly and respectfully, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda.